Hey, how's it going, guys? DJ Av here. Smash the like button, and today we're going to be talking about sound designing. In particular, we're going to use Tone Noisemaker for this because it's a free VST and it works on both Windows and Mac. I will have the link in the description box so you can download it. There is a 64-bit, 32-bit version for it, and there is an AAX version for those out there that use Pro Tools. So, rejoice everybody, as it'll be a pretty easy tutorial to follow here. So, again, what makes a pad here? I want people to understand that pads can embellish many of things, but the main thing is that pads usually have in common is the attack and release. So that means, when you click on this send to right here, you'll see the attack and release. And, that's the volume envelope. So, you can affect the volume. But first, I'm just going to go ahead and play middle C real quick so you can hear it. As you can see, it's just like that would count, I guess, as a lead or whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and turn up the attack. So as it may here, this is attack. A stands for attack. This stands for decay. This stands for sustain. This stands for release. So as you can see, as I moved up the attack here, the sound comes in slower. So when I add more release, it will release slower, like it won't stop as fast. So that's a little bit like a pad with sound or whatnot. Not really interesting. The main thing you want about pads is that you want to add a little bit of character to them. So first off, you see right here, you have an amount of voices here, and I want y'all to understand, the reason, another reason why I picked out Tone Noisemaker is because the UI is very clear to understand here, as you have oscillator 1, oscillator 2 right here, and then you have an LFO that is readily available to you. So we're gonna add more voices to it because we want to be able to play chords, because in monopoly you only can play one note. So we're gonna add 4 voices. All right, so now that we have that available, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start playing with some of the different voices that you have. So oscillator 1 only has saw, pulse, and noise, and oscillator 2 has saw, pulse, triangle, sine, and noise. So obviously we're gonna want to do one or two things right now. First, since oscillator 2 is turned down, you want to turn it up, because this is the master right here, so that stands for master volume. You also can turn on and off the sub oscillator right here, which is the third oscillator that we can't see right now. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and do it and see what we got here. Now that we play with that, you have tune here, which stands for like your different pitches or whatnot. So you got to be careful when you start adjusting this, because you want everything to be matching to like C if you're playing C and whatnot. So now we added a little bit more character to the sound. We're gonna go ahead and switch it to noise on the oscillator 1. So now that we're messing with oscillator 1 here, we're gonna have to do a couple of things that will change the overall tonality of this sound. Again, I'm probably just gonna go with pulse for right now. So other things that you could do, of course, if since this pad, it doesn't really pop per se, you probably want to add some things like reverb to it. So you have a reverb section here, and you'll see something that says wet. So basically what you want to do is boost the wetness of it, and you'll induce some reverb. And as you can see, the sound itself has gotten bigger in terms of the presence. You also can adjust the size of the room, you know, just to give a grant a little idea here. Well, and also you can affect how much of the frequency catches that reverb by going either taking it out of the lower frequencies right here, which LP, low pass, and then high pass. So as you can see, it's not wetted anymore. So if I was to, you know, go ahead and boost it instead of attenuate it, you can hear that the lower frequencies that are being played on the keyboard has that reverb here. So, you know, if I was to introduce the high pass and I also take away the low pass, you know, vice versa or whatever, and go up, you can hear some of that reverb in the higher frequencies or whatnot. You know, other things that do make for a pad, you know, for an interesting pad, of course, is definitely certain things, like as far as like bit crushing and stuff like that. Just extra things. And in particular with Tone Noisemaker, bit crushing or bit reduction actually sounds pretty cool. Very reluctant to the actual sound of bit reduction in hardware. So you start getting more or less the Mario, Zelda type feel to your sound. So, you know, you get to adjust that accordingly. And then you can add delays. You might want to be a little subtle about it. Yeah, or not. But, you know, it's just a matter of opinion and taste. Another thing that you probably want to do is mess with the filter section, because when you mess with the filter section and cutting off certain frequency content, such as like the high frequencies, you get more of a stringy type sound to it as well. As you can see right there. And you know, you could change the different filters, you know, because you know high pass will give you a little less of the lower end and then more of the higher end, and then you can mess with the cutoff. One of the things I haven't really figured out though, well, never mind, I have figured out now, is mapping. You can map LFOs to your filter right here and see how everything works, and you know you'll start having a little wobble or wubby effect. You know, you're gonna have to add the amount, and then of course syncing will sync it to the master BPM. So hopefully I'm pretty sure I probably lost a lot of people with the things that you could do as far as like making interesting pads. But you know, these are definitely things that you can observe and learn and be able to create interesting sounds on your own without just relying on presets or whatnot. Or perhaps you might want to take this knowledge, because this will translate into every VST or even hardware for that matter. So you know, all these basic tips, all these things are basically the same, no matter what, give or take, that the interface has, you know, the set names like oscillator 1, oscillator 2. Sometimes they might say VOC or whatever on hardware, or some VSTs depending on who you got it from. But anyways, that's just opinion. But well, other stuff. So you have ring modulation right here. Ring modulation usually is like a waveform being modulated in between the exact same waveform. So you can have like per se like a sawtooth with attributes of I guess like sine waves in between the sawtooth. is a good way to explain like how ring modulation works. No, and then you can get real. Let's go ahead and add the low pass filter back. And as you can see right there, that's kind of like the dubstep wobble or whatever type of wobble that you want to put your music into. You know, it's all about experimenting with your different LFOs and whatnot here. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments, please leave a comment. There are more things that you can learn about pads, but I just want to leave y'all something to begin with. Just experiment with different features, experiment with different modulations, so you can, you know, route stuff to either your filter or, you know, your different oscillators. You might want to have it tune off a little bit, or, you know, route it to the phase or even to the volume if you want other things that you want to do to it. And it's 2 LFOs, so, you know, feel free to do whatever. But I am DJ Av here. Again, the link will be in the description box for this VST, but again, it will translate into other VSTs out on the market or hardware or whatever default native plugins that you do sound design in. I am DJ Av here. Have a good day. We out.
Traptendo.